Hey guys, welcome back to Coolest Crafts. I'm starting out with a light and dark mustard color and mixing them together. It was a little bit too dark, so I added some white to it and I was happy with it. I also don't think we need this much, so I'm cutting half of it off and putting it away for later. Now you'll need to find something with a square shape to trace onto the clay. I just chose this mini Minecraft scenery I had laying around, but you can choose whatever. After cutting out the shape, I realized it was uneven and I didn't want to try and fix that, so I just started over, but it ended up too thick. So I rolled that out a little bit, cut it out again, and it was just right. Moving on to our second layer, I created this little template to go off of, traced it on a piece of clay, and of course the corners are not on there. But again, we'll continue. And glue it onto our first square. Trim up some of the edges, and we're going to blend the two pieces together on the sides. Now we just have our last layer to worry about. So I'm starting with the 4x4 template, tracing that out a couple times. I cut out 4 shapes, but I ended up only needing 2, but you'll see later why. And I'm just tracing out a grid pattern on the top of it and cutting out the middle square because I'm going to be replacing that with a piece of blue clay for the water. Took a while to get the right thickness, but ultimately I found the right height and I just surrounded that with the walls. Using my blade, I'm adding a brick texture to the sides. And now comes the wire. Cutting out 4 pieces and adding them to the corners of the fountain. Then placing the roof on top with the same brick texture on the sides. And gluing that right onto the base. At this point, I thought it looked a bit weird, but I just pushed that thought aside and continued with the brick texture. Moving on to our second square template. This is a 5x5. It's going to be the little villager's house. I'm using my template so I can properly make the grid on top, and cutting all the sides off so that the cabin can be hollow. I'm also making a bed to put inside by rolling out some purple and brown clay, layering them on top, adding a little bit of white, and cutting it into a rectangle. I added a little chest as well by making a brown square cube. You can see the chest now, along with the second layer of the wall put up. The third layer goes on top with some glue, just putting a pyramid roof on and adding that on top, flattening out the sides as much as I can. And for some of the plant life, I'm placing some of these dead plants as well as some cube logs for the cacti. Some more brick texture on the cabin. Now I finally realized what was wrong with the fountain. It had too high of a wall and I'm not sure how I didn't notice this earlier. So I ripped it off, took off the bottom layer and just put it back on. I've been calling it a fountain, but I guess it's really a well. Putting the wires back in the base and the roof back on top. So now that the well is accurate, I put it in the oven to bake for 20 minutes. Afterwards, I painted some details on the cacti and I painted the wires brown. And this wouldn't be much of a village without a villager. So I took some peach clay, made it into a cube and added a smaller cube for the nose. Added some green clay to a strip of white and cut it in half for the eyes. Added a unibrow, because you can't have a villager without a unibrow. A brown coat with a dark brown zipper, some gray shoes, and some sleeves to match. Then the head goes on and it goes in the oven as well. Super glued onto the base, and this is complete. I'm really happy with how it turned out. If you guys want to see more Minecraft sceneries, then be sure to leave a like or a comment down below. But other than that, hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all later. Bye!